Hey, what's up? This is the Bomb Ass Moms podcast. I'm Tierney.
And I'm Ashley.
We're back again, y'all. What's up?
What's up? Yet again, we are back with another week and another good topic. Girl, we just making it happen. We making it happen for our listeners. We making it happen, shoot, for ourselves because some of these topics be good as a bug.
You know what? I'm kind of tired of talking about relationships, but I guess it's
Wait,
important, I guess.
what you mean? Says the one that's in a relationship. Come on now, we need to talk about it because I ain't in a I'm not committed. I'm not in a relationship, and I like to have these conversations because one day your girl gonna be in a relationship and then married again. So yeah.
Well, hey, yeah. I'm trying to get to marriage too,
But
I don't know. Let's just skip that. I gotta enjoy the kids right now because Lord Jesus. Like, we have a relationship like this where you're not married first. Like, how do you enjoy your marriage when you've already had your children? Like,
wait,
that's a real
okay.
question.
Okay, I know it's a real question. I mean, it's you have to find that time to still date as if you don't have children, right? So you still have to find time to even when you're married, you have to find time to date each other no matter if kids are in the picture or not. So what does that require? It probably requires a little bit more planning on your part because now you have to get a babysitter and all that. It's out of order, but it's not impossible to happen, right? So to me, yours is, and I don't even want to say out of order. It's just life happened. Life be
It
life.
happened the way God wanted it to
Okay,
happen,
that's what
okay?
I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. So now that it has happened this way, now you just have to do a little bit extra planning to date your mate.
Okay. Well, I won't get to my second question because whatever. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about something else that has to do with relationships and friends. Friends, or
Yeah,
whatever y'all call it. Friends. My
right,
friend.
right, right.
So interesting. You know, this is something I think I have a problem with. It's like hell no, I'm not with that shit. But it's only for a certain reason. So our issue today is, well, the topic at hand
The
is,
topic at hand, not issue,
yeah,
because you're
yeah,
going
because
through
it's
those
not my
kind of issues,
issue.
right?
It's
Yeah,
not my issue. It's
yeah.
not my issue, okay?
It ain't
It's a
mine because I ain't got
woman's.
nobody.
Well, that's okay. You don't want this issue anyway, so it don't matter.
You're right.
But you know what? You have a lot of friends, and whomever that you get with may have a lot of friends
Mm,
too. So the question is, if your partner had a best friend or a close friend that is of the opposite sex, are you okay with that?
yeah. Are you okay with it?
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hey, hey.
Let's get into it. You're right. I
And
think
we're
that.
and we're talking about a platonic, non, I don't know, I can't put all these adjectives on it. Someone that is their truly best friend. They're not gay, so the female is not gay.
Mm-hmm.
The male, if it's a male, whatever. If men, you're listening to this and it's your woman, the male is not gay. They're straight. Do
Yeah.
you have a problem with it? Like, this person was here before you. They're close, close. But when do you have a problem with it, or do you have a problem with it?
You know, I've obviously been in a marriage and a relationship before. But it was a little different because Andrew didn't have that. But if I think on it, it's easier said than done when you aren't in that situation, right? But if you ask in my opinion, um, I don't like it, but for me, being secure in my relationship, I probably won't have a problem with it, because I know that every night or every day that person's coming home with me. I'm just saying, maybe I'm just guessing because I have not been placed in this situation, but it might be a different story if I'm placed in that situation. I know that friends, best friends of the opposite sex could for sure lead to other things because you could possibly be emotionally cheating with your best friend of the opposite sex, right? But again, I'm just saying from a standpoint where I've never been placed in a situation that I'm just so secure in my relationship that I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm saying that now, but like I said, the story may be different if it happens. Now, I don't have a lot of male best friends. Not I don't really have male best friends, but
Male friends that you talk to often?
I don't. I don't. Maybe the that would have been different when I was in college, but now that I'm older and I'm on my mommy, parenting trip or whatever, I really don't. I'm trying to think. I really don't have a male best friend like that. So it's harder for me to answer this question in the moment because I'm not going through it, but just trying to look at it from the outside looking in, you know, I mean, it's twofold. Securing my relationship, nope, I wouldn't have an issue. But then placing the situation and seeing the dynamics of their friendship, their relationship, I may. I don't know. What about you?
Okay, okay, so you said a few things. I need to touch on that. Y'all may see me look down. That's because I'm writing notes. Y'all know my brain don't be brainy, so I gotta write notes to remember what I'm gonna say. Okay, so a few things. Okay, you said something about being secure in your relationship. You shouldn't have a problem, or you wouldn't have a problem
Mhm.
with your mate having the opposite sex best friend or friend. Okay, so you think that security means that you're okay with your partner having the opposite sex best friend or opposite sex friends, and that equals you having security in your relationship. So for me, I disagree. So I
And
don't
that's
think
fine.
that
Mhm.
not with the statement, but with the opposite statement. You don't have to be insecure to not want your mate to have, I guess, the opposite sex best friends. Now, I would say I am okay with my partner having the opposite sex best friend, but I feel like there has to be rules, right? Because one, I need to know this friend because if that's your best friends are like family. So if I'm not acquainted with her, I don't know anything about her, like I've never had a conversation with her, I've never seen her, it's a no-go because honestly, like, what kind of best friend? Now, if that was a male, I bet I would know your best friend. I
Yeah.
would have seen your best friend. Your friend would have been around me and your children, your family. Like, so there shouldn't be any difference if that's your true best friend. Now, other friends, like, I feel like when you get to a certain age and you have friends, like true friends, like you already know like there's levels to friendship, and when you're in a committed relationship, when you have a family, it's certain people that you don't bring around, it's certain people that you have to stop talking to,
Mhm.
like you have to protect what's important.
So
And yeah,
go
okay.
ahead. I'm sorry. I was like, so listen to you. I agree. If you have a friend of the opposite sex, you're right. They're like family. You should know. Now, if you have a friend of the opposite sex and I don't know nothing about, I mean, that is different. But I stand on my statement to say, and again, we don't have to agree on everything. That when you are securing your relationship, I'm meaning that secure meaning you know of this best friend, not that you have some random chick that you don't know anything about. That doesn't make me necessarily, you know, insecure, but it's just like it makes your radar go up if you claiming to have a best friend and your partner or your wife or whatever don't know anything about, right?
Mhm.
So I agree 100% that we should know. Shit, I should know more about your best friend than you. Not really, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I should know, like, if they are truly your best friends, they need to be as if they're family, and I can pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, girl, what's up? We having dinner or whatever. You want to, come over and invite your family." However, too, I do believe that there should be boundaries. whether your best friend is in a marriage, whether your best friend is single, you whatever, there should definitely be boundaries, but there should always be a form of open communication on your partner or your spouse's end, and vice versa. If I have a male best friend, you should know about this male best friend up front. No guessing. It should be an upfront conversation, right?
Exactly, 100%, 100%. And I think the other thing that I was saying, that I had to write down, y'all. Sorry. It's not age related, it's baby related. The other thing that I had to write down is that you said something about emotionally cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that both men and women, they can do this without like knowing that they're doing something wrong.
Wait, what do you mean? Explain.
Like, because, so, okay, we have friends that we usually talk to, right? And we don't know that, hey, I'm confiding in you. Yes, you're the opposite sex. I'm
Mm-hmm.
confiding in you to tell you, hey, this is how I feel. Um, and not like realizing, like, hey, I'm doing something wrong because one, I'm sharing these feelings with you and it's going on another level. I haven't even told my partner about this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in our relationship, we're best friends. So, yes, we're close,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, you have to have boundaries. And the second thing is like, how do you know when you're emotionally cheating? Like, what is that boundary? What's that line to say, like, oh shit, like, I'm taking this shit too far?
So, okay, again, Ashley ain't in a committed relationship at this moment, but I have been married before and I have been in a relationship. And I think that, you know, when you set boundaries, even though you have a best friend of the opposite sex, certain things that happen in your relationship or in your marriage should not leak to that person. Like, or you shouldn't be feeling so open enough to share every little detail, whether you're best friends or not, like having a friend of the opposite sex. Some stuff should just be private within your marriage, your relationship. But if you find yourself um talking to your friend of the opposite sex and it's comforting, or it's you got to talk to them all the time about that subject or something like that, I feel as though that could be emotionally cheating, because now you're going to that person trying to feel something that is lacking, therefore, in your marriage or in
You're
your
trying to
relationship.
fill a void. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. Listeners, if you have something different, please share with us, because I would wholeheartedly like to know. But I just feel like when you're trying to fill a void, it's almost like when you're physically cheating too, right? If you're not getting sex in your home or your marriage or whatever, then I'm not saying go out there looking for it, but if something comes up and it fulfills that void, then you may act on it. And so I just feel like oversharing to someone that's not your spouse, whether they're your friend or best friend, and then you start to get comfortable a lot with doing that, and sharing every little detail and feeling comfortable to do that, that's emotional cheating for me.
Yeah. And I think well, something that's important, like, people have feelings. Once you start doing that, you're oversharing, your feelings are growing.
Yeah.
Your
I know.
feelings are growing, that person is too. Like, and there's an attachment that's
Hmm.
beyond what you say that's your best friend.
Yeah.
Like, and it gets to a point where it's messy. It gets messy. So my thing is, what do you do if this happens in your relationship?
Well, you shouldn't even get to this point. Meaning, what do you do? What do you do is suck it up, buttercup, and fall back. Like, you have to set that boundary. It's easier said than done. I know it's probably easier said than done, but you shouldn't allow yourself to get that deep in to where you're like, oh my God, I'm caught up, and what do I do? Somebody got to be the mature one and fall back, and go back to confiding in your mates, confiding in your partner or whatever, or trying to fix whatever issues that you may be having within your marriage or within your relationship. Somebody got to be the bigger person and stop it.
Exactly.
Easier
I'm gonna
said
tell
than
you this.
done. Easier
I
said than
ain't
done.
going. I'm tell you this. I'm not going for that shit. I feel like when you're in a relationship, like I said before, you have to understand what's important. if you
Yeah.
made this decision to be with your family, be with me, then you have to decide like what's important. This person that I call my best friend, guess what? Your best friend would never put you in a situation like this because they will understand what's important. And I feel like you have to know what's important. Like your best friend really wouldn't even put you in that type of situation. Like I feel like a lot of times when you do overshare, it's like a give and take relationship.
Mhm,
You're giving a lot of information and that supposedly best friend is probably trying to give you some advice. Maybe
mhm.
it's the wrong advice, maybe it's the right advice, but if it's your relationship and you're trying to get some advice on your relationship, the best person to talk to is your partner, not your
That or
so-called best friend
yeah,
or
that
a therapist.
or a
100%.
therapist. Listen, I'm all about therapy, couples therapy. Come on now. A perfect stranger that don't know you from Adam's butt.
Yes.
Therapy. Yes,
Yes.
I wholeheartedly believe if you truly need some work in your relationship, you don't run to your opposite sex best friend. You run to your partner or a therapist to try to fix it together.
Yeah. So, okay. So we said we're secure.
Mhm.
If this person had an opposite sex best friend,
Mhm.
what is okay in their relationship? Like, is it okay for them to be on the phone all the time, talk every day? How about this one? I got a good one. Is it
Okay.
okay for them to go out to dinner together, just them?
I'm secure in the relationship, but we all going to dinner together, baby. It's a friendship, friendsgiving affair, honey. Like
Okay, well, what about lunch though?
it, for real, for real, for real. Communicate that with me. Hey, I'm about to go to lunch with Tyrion and we about to link up real quick, or I'm about to go to dinner. This is for real, for real. Hey, as long as that communication is open. Now you can't be doing it Monday through Sunday. Oh hell no. Oh no. No. But if you want to hang out with your best friend, come on. Like, okay, just communicate that to me. I shouldn't be finding out through the grapevine that you went to lunch with Tyranny. No.
Open communication.
Yeah.
Open communication.
Mhm.
Now, I will say, I don't know if I'm okay with dinner. Like a little lunch, I'm cool with that because I feel like it's daytime. But you
Mhm.
know what? If somebody gonna cheat, they gonna cheat whenever. So it
Right.
really doesn't
Hold on.
matter if it's day or night.
What's the difference between day, night,
I
sun,
don't know.
sleet, snow? Nothing.
Well, one thing I feel like dinner is a little bit more intimate.
Girl,
That's
lunch
just
can
how
be
I feel.
intimate with a nice fancy restaurant. Like, I don't agree. I think any time of the day with that comment you just said. So either it's dinner, lunch, breakfast, or nothing. No.
Well, first of all, you said that all of us going. So
Well,
if all of us go,
I said that at first, but then I was like, you know what? Let me go back to this open communication. If my partner is open about it and I know them or whatever, and they're I don't want to necessarily say checking in, but you're openly communicating it with me, and it can't be a Monday through Sunday thing, then okay.
okay, like I can understand that. Like I think I don't know if I'm
But
cool with it.
but you know what?
I have a hard time with it.
It's easier for us to talk what we could, should, would do when we're not in that situation, right? I don't know. That's
Yeah,
just
I'm not in this. No, I'm not in the situation, but like honestly thinking, I would have a hard time with it. Would I allow it? Yes, because I would try to prove that, hey, baby, I trust you.
keyword trust. You're right.
Um,
We didn't even hit that
yes,
up. Should have hit that up at the beginning.
yes.
But you're right. It's all about trust and open communication and being honest. Now, if you give me a reason not to trust you, then we're gonna have an issue with that.
Well, I'm gonna
What?
tell you, if you giving me reasons to not trust you, all that shit off the table. Don't even ask me,
What's
and I bet not find out about it because we're
listen?
gonna have some problems.
I said what's done in the dark will always come to light. May not come when we think, but I'm telling you, if you're doing something wrong, the light will show. The darkness will come to light. I promise you that. So again, that it goes back to being open about communicating and not having a lunch date or a dinner date or a breakfast date or a brunch date or brunching Monday through Sunday.
True, true. I agree with it. So it sounds like we're really kind of like on the same page. And I will say, like, I thought I had a male best friend, but like thinking about it, even male friends, thinking about it, if I'm not fooling myself, I always knew that they had some interest in me. Now, whether I put them in the friend zone or not, I knew. I knew. I kept it friendly, but in the back of my head, there was just like, I'll put you in the friend zone, but I know you kind of like me. I know you cool on me. Like, seriously, one of my best friends, like, well, I'm gonna say he was my best friend, but he was a close friend. Like, I've known him like most of my life since
Yeah.
elementary school, right? I knew he kind of liked me, but that was years ago. So I'm thinking like when we were hanging around each other, I'm around his girlfriend, he's around my boyfriend. Like I'm thinking we're cool. We go out one night, and I kind of knew it was like something, but
Hmm.
we go out one night, girl, for his birthday, and I'm like, "Oh, where's your girlfriend?" Oh, I didn't tell her I was going out. It was
Red
one.
flag one.
Yes, red flag on a playgirl.
Hmm.
So I was like,
Not on the
okay.
play. Not on the.
Yes, on the play. Cause like, okay, we having a good time. We're in the club. Um, Around this time, I was dealing with some like weird stuff, so I was a little anxious to be at the club.
Yeah.
Like, so I was standing like on the perimeter of the crowd, and he was like having fun in the crowd, whatever. And he was like, "Hey, let's go buy some drinks." He brought this girl over. I'm like, "Okay, cool." He was like, "Yeah, I'm about to get her a drink too. What you want?" He buying us drinks, whatever. Okay, cool. And he's like, "It's my birthday. Come over here with me." And he was like dancing in a crowd. But I'm
Hmm.
like, oh my God, it's scary. Okay, I'm gonna come
Oh
because
gosh.
it's your birthday. So I come and I'm like grooving or whatever.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, this boy kisses me on the neck. And I'm like, wait, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, no, this is not cool. I'm about to go. So the club is about to end anyway, and I was like, you know what? I'm upset. Like that's not cool. Don't like disrespect me ever like that. And I was like, I'm about to go. Yes, he was intoxicated, but let me tell you, you know what they say. Intoxication speaks truth. He wanted to do that shit and he wanted to see how far I would go with it. And I didn't like that. So I called me an Uber and I went home and he went home with another girl.
So
And I
he.
was just like, yep,
See,
yep, 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 yep.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yes.
I'm shocked that you went in the club and his girlfriend went there.
Well, I
Well, you
mean,
just probably wasn't
whatever was going on with them, to me as a friend, that wasn't my business. It wasn't my business to call her and be like, girl, you know so and so, we at the club. No, he my friend, she's not. So I feel like, okay, whatever relationship issues they have, that's their issues. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just gonna be true to my friend. So it's his birthday, let's celebrate.
yeah.
I didn't really think like, oh, he was on some shit. I didn't think that. So,
And if he
like
was
being
your
a
real friend, to be honest, he wouldn't have put you in this situation. So, no, no. I,
exactly, but okay, how many times have friends put you in a situation where you have to be like, okay, well, you my friend. I can't say shit about your relationship. It is what it is.
no, I
Okay,
get
prime example. Men cheat all the fucking time. They best friends see this shit. What the hell they gonna say? They probably tell their friend, fool, you wrong. But you think they gonna go back to their wife or girlfriend and be like, yeah, me and blah 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 was at the club and he was with this female? No, no, they're not gonna do that. So you just gotta shut up and be a friend. You tell your friend, hey, you fucking wrong. I'm right here, but what can I do? I'm gonna leave and you do whatever you're gonna do, but I'm here to celebrate your birthday. That's how I feel. Like I wasn't there to be his bodyguard. I can't stop him from doing whatever he doing. He a grown ass man.
you're right. Again, I don't really have no comment, but I just obviously didn't agree. You obviously didn't agree after this crap happened. But
True.
ugh,
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's
it's very
very
frustrating.
frustrating.
I guess, you know, to nip it in the bud for some, the answer would be no, you can't have friends of the opposite sex, best friends of the opposite sex. But again, I ain't in that situation. Ask me again when I'm committed, because I ain't committed to nobody. And we'll have part two conversation about it. I just, yeah, girl. It can get sticky sometimes. I can see that it can get sticky with some. But again, because we're having this conversation right now, but what if your partner isn't okay with that, right? That's a whole nother
Yeah.
ball game, right? And we ain't even had that discussion, which I can't have discussion because I don't got nobody. Hold on, let me see. Do I got? No, I ain't got nobody. So,
Where they at, girl? Where they at, girl?
I'm like
He's
looking around.
coming. He's coming.
You're
He's
right.
coming.
You're right. Patience, patience, my friend. So either way, I think that this could be a conversation, another conversation to be had once you do have a partner. Go ask Chris what he think, and then to be continued.
You know what? Chris asked, I
Uh,
could ask him.
not your opinion.
No,
His.
okay, listen. No, listen. I could ask Chris, and really, Chris is like, he doesn't care. He
I don't
doesn't care.
want to hear.
I believe he doesn't care.
I
We
want to
can
hear
get
from
him up
Chris.
here. I'm actually gonna get him. So we can get him. But in my mind, I don't think he cares if I had a
Okay. And tyranny.
male best
I'm
friend.
gonna hear the response from Chris, not tyranny. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I want to
I
hear from.
okay, I'm gonna get him. Okay, y'all. We have Chris here.
Yep.
Now you'll only be able to hear him. You won't see him. Y'all can't see my boo. But anyway, all right, he's here. Ashley Ashley's gonna ask the question.
Okay. So, Chris, first off, thank you for taking the time to answer this question. But here we go. And we want your honest answer. Putting a little spice on it because they ain't hearing no mail on the Bum Ass Moms podcast yet. We were having a discussion about opposite sex best friends. So, how do you feel if Tierney had an opposite sex, pretty much a male best friend?
If she had a male best friend when we first met, that may raise red flags, but I would respect that out of, they had that relationship before I came into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But as of today, I wouldn't expect her to put no male as a best friend before me. So
Okay.
today, I would feel some type of way about it. But had I met her in that situation, then that was just something that I would have to, figure out how to work around, or, would it be acceptable for me? I'd have to figure that out at that time. But
Yeah.
today, absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. See, I just wanted to, get your input because, she was giving her input and I was like, I don't want to hear from you. I want to hear from Chris. And so therefore,
Oh
uh-uh. So therefore, you said he didn't care, but he obviously cares. He obviously cares. So I appreciate you answering that question. Tierney, what questions do you have? Okay, you silent.
She
That's
can't hear you. I have the AirPods.
oh.
no, I'm sitting up here looking stupid.
You were. I'm sorry. So I was like, Tierney, Chris, ask her. Say, she said, what questions do you have?
Okay, so I was just gonna ask Chris, since he's here,
Mm-hmm.
like, do you think there should be boundaries when it comes to whatever partner in a relationship? Should they have boundaries with their best friend?
Well, that obviously there should be boundaries. There are certain things that are going to be acceptable and not acceptable. It's just a matter of defining what those boundaries are.
Yeah.
I'm a very private person, and she knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't share wins or losses with public. You have to really be in my inner circle to really know what we have going on. And, I feel like when you have a best friend, or like in this example, if she has a best friend, I don't necessarily connect with that person. So I wouldn't necessarily want her telling, things that we discuss to other people, to other men, especially because she knows that I would not do that. I would not tell our secrets, if you will, or private things to other. I don't have those discussions. That what we talk about in private is between us.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole purpose of a best friend is to have, that outlet, that release, someone else to talk to, that to give you possibly an unbiased opinion or an outside view of things. And there's a certain amount that I'm willing to accept when it comes to discussing me,
Okay.
or even a situation that I am involved with. Like, for example, if she was having a bad day at work and she wanted to talk about that with her best friend, that has nothing to do with me. So that's different. She can have those conversations. But if her and I get into a fight and she runs to a male and says, "Oh, Chris said blah blah blah, Chris did blah blah blah," red flags everywhere. Right? Does that make
Red
sense?
flags on the
It
play.
makes sense. Red flags on a play. So, Chris, we truly appreciate you giving us your opinion and aiding in our discussion or our topic at hand. We appreciate it. And so, there you have it, listeners. You have it from at least one male perspective when it comes to should your partner have a best friend of the opposite sex. Chris made some good points.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See, I like the example that Chris gave. Absolutely 100% agree. When it comes to your secrets, like I was saying, your relationship issues, you should not be having that discussion with a person of the opposite sex, best friend, your best friend or not, right? But like if you have an issue at work, that's different. It's very different.
Yeah.
So,
So it's basically there's a line, don't cross this shit.
hey,
Basically.
pretty much. So, yeah,
Pretty
this was
much.
a
So
short
I
one.
mean, it sounds like we're on the same page, but like I said, I felt like he wasn't gonna care, if I had a male best friend. Now, wait a minute. First of
Wait,
all,
uh-uh.
wait. Hold up. This is one thing. This is one thing. This is one thing. You cannot just get a best friend out of nowhere. He said he wouldn't really care if this relationship was prior to, right?
Okay, but we ain't okay. Got it. He did say that. However, comma, there's still boundaries to be had, right?
Oh
He
yes.
so, but at the end of the day, like current day, presently, yes, it makes a big difference. But he did make the comment. No, not that he don't care. It's just he has to find a way to he has to find a way to
Accept it.
right. That's not saying he don't care because if he
That's
didn't,
true.
he wouldn't say I have to find a way to care. He would have been like, well, I don't care. It was before my time, so it is what it is. But he didn't say that.
Well, that's how I took
Okay, well that's how I took it.
it.
I'm just saying.
But this is like we have different understandings of what he means. And like, but I think we understand the same thing. When I say he doesn't care, meaning that it doesn't really bother him because their relationship was established before him, but
Hmm.
also Chris trusts that I wouldn't cross those boundaries.
Hmm.
So that's what I meant by like, oh, he doesn't care
Well, be
because
clear.
it wouldn't have really affect him. Now, but be clear, I'm not the type of person to do certain things that would make him mistrust me. If I had a best friend before Chris, Chris would know.
Yeah, but I'm
The
saying,
friend, listen, the friend that I was just telling you about in the club,
yeah,
Chris knew. Chris knew about the kissing on my neck. He knew that shit, and I told him like I would never keep it up. Like that's me, that's
yes,
me. And so he understands like, oh, the reason why you don't talk to so and so, but now is because he crossed that boundary. He understands. And if I was to talk back to that guy, he would know like, why would you do that?
yes.
That's the
So,
problem.
so it was easy for you all to give an example on this podcast, but think it beyond just you and Chris, right? Would that be acceptable for anybody else listening to this? To me, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Or like how we interpret things, like how I interpreted what Chris just said. I was like, no, it don't sound like he don't care to me, baby. He. You know what I'm saying? So like thinking beyond, it was just easy to give an example from you and Chris because y'all right here, right? But just thinking
Yeah.
about other people, like I mean, let's be clear on what you mean by they don't really truly care. No, they care, but let's explain it clearly so we can understand.
Yes.
That's all. But
Yeah. Like
yeah,
I don't think we like really because I don't have male best friends, and the guy friends that I have or had, I don't even talk to them.
yeah.
Like I don't even think I talked to one male this whole 2024. Yes, it's just January, but
Right. I looked at my clock like, girl, it's
no, seriously, yes, it's January, but it's like things happen in your life where it's just like, certain people, you don't talk to them every day
yeah.
because, listen, I got two children I have to take care of like all day, every day. Like, when do I have time to sit on the phone with you for an hour and catch up? Listen, I'm gonna talk to you if I see you. If I see you, I don't, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's to me is not that important.
Yeah.
But some people do need an outlet outside of their family. I'm not one of those people. So, there's different personalities that come into play when you're talking about having outside friends and all that type of stuff. We ain't got to get into that today, but
So yeah, but if you are one of the for those that are listening, if you are one of those people that need an outlet, I just want you to be mindful. There should be boundaries. You should not be confiding in your best friend or your friend of the opposite sex with sharing what's going on in your relationship, because honestly, that can lead to other things, as we've mentioned before on this podcast. So just be mindful, set boundaries, and yeah, I mean, just don't cross those boundaries, because
yes,
we're not going to sit on this podcast and say that you should never. We just were giving our opinions, right? But your opinion may be different from ours. So just all we're saying is the little advice that I got to give is be mindful and set those boundaries and don't cross
yeah.
them.
I would say always respect yourself, always respect your partner, and think about like what you have to lose, because sometimes when you start oversharing, when you start getting close to someone else that is of the opposite sex, those lines get blurred, and it's all about respect. Like, you wouldn't want your partner to do something like that to you, and you always have to keep them in mind when you're doing certain things.
Yeah.
And no matter how established that relationship was before, like Chris just talked about, there always have to be rules. Like, don't go beyond that. And I will say, I have dealt with it. And one of the things that I've dealt with was, oh, we used to communicate like that, so I didn't think it was a problem. Well, when you didn't think it was a problem, that means you didn't take account for you and our relationship. You didn't think about, oh, if she saw this, would she be offended? If she saw that, would this look wrong? Would it look like I was doing something wrong? And I always think of the other person. So yeah, we're gonna close this off. If y'all have any comments, tell me what you think about it. Men, I love what Chris had to say. Like I said, his ass ain't got no problem, but he ain't even got to worry about it because I don't have any guy friends. I know a few guys that, we might say hey by on social media, maybe through text. Hey, how you doing? How the kids? Da 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 da. We keep it strict. I don't play that shit. What's up, baby? Nah, none of that, cause that's out of line.
And for those
So
that for those that ain't committed yet, there's something to just think about and be mindful about, and something to just truly think about and understand the perspective from your partner. Are they truly okay with that too? That's a conversation to be had.
yeah, and you just have to think about it like going forward. If
Hmm.
it's a new relationship, old relationship, whatever, you have to think about like what you want in the future, basically.
Yeah.
Because if you want to continue your relationship, or do you want to continue your friendship how it is? Because we know friendships, they're not all the same. We'll just put it like that. They're not all the same. And your partner may not accept what you're used to doing with your so-called friend. All
Yep.
right, y'all, we're gonna close this out. Hit us up, comments. We are on all platforms.
Oh.
The YouTube is cracking, the TikTok is cracking, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, it's cracking. We got like 1,800 views on certain videos. We're just here to bring y'all content from bomb ass moms. Anybody, also, if you want to be on the show, let us know. Hit us up, DM us. You can
Mm.
also email us at bombassmomspodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on TikTok, YouTube, IG, and
Girl,
Facebook.
all the platforms, all the platforms.
All the platforms.
Yeah.
We're live. All right,
Yeah.
y'all. We'll see
Bye.
y'all next